Jordan here with a new Warp solution. Who doesn't love SQLite? It has been around for ages. It's small, it's easy to use. You can tie it into just about anything you want to ship on just about any platform. So that got me thinking, can I write a WarpStream compliant topic to SQLite? And it turns out I can, but I needed to use the open source pipeline project Bento to do it. So let's walk through that real quick. We're here in WarpStream. We're going to need a cluster. I've got one running and I'm going to want to consume from this topic products. Now I've already created credentials, and this is the first thing. You're going to need your WarpStream credentials and the Bootstrap broker. So the easiest thing is to go here, and I've already created mine and I've exported them, but I want to show what that looks like. So we just click on create credential, just give it a junk name. We're going to delete it here. And I need this export, right? That's got all my information. So I'm going to need that for the terminal. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and delete that credential. And there we go. Now, on to the terminal. Now, we should have our SQLite already installed. I do, so I can run that. So let's go ahead and go into SQLite. That's the name of our database. Show we've got nothing in here right now. Now, the next step is to configure our Bento script. So let's take a look at what we've got here. All right. We set up the Kafka franz commit period. This is all fairly simple. The start from oldest true. That's to read from the beginning of the top consumer group. That's so we can see where our consumer is. Here is where we're picking up the environment variables that we exported. Our SASL mechanism is plain. TLS enabled is true. Our seed broker is here. We saw that in WarpStream. You can always get it again going over here to connections, and we see it over here to the side. And we see the SASL information and TLS information there as well. So let's pop back into our terminal. Now here is the bit that you're going to need to know about for writing to SQLite. You could easily overwhelm it with the pace at which you're writing to it. So we need to batch up the data. And here's our topic that we mentioned earlier. So batching, let me show you some of the docs on that real quick. We can batch by byte size, by record count, by amount of time, by a value. So it's pretty flexible. And basically, whichever one of those hits first, that's your batch size. So back here in the terminal, I've set this up for a count of 5,000 or 5 seconds. So whichever comes first. I'll still get a timeout with this configuration. I wasn't trying to tune it down to get it as perfect as possible. You can play with those settings, and you'll see that when we go to run it. So here's our output. We're going to do a SQL insert, and we're going to use the driver SQLite, which requires the DSN is just the path. So that's the path for our database. You proceed that with file, and I'm going to create the table if it doesn't exist. I know what the JSON looks like that's coming in. So here we've set up our column. We've done our mapping. We're going to create this table named products. And here's the create if doesn't exist. So the next part, now that we've got this all done, it's all saved, we're going to run it in Bento. Now let's go ahead and fire that up. Let's go take a look back here, and we should see our table. There it is. So let's look at the schema of that. And that matches what we had. So now let's do a count. We got 90,000 records in there already. Come back here. You see, we got a few of these error messages because we're going a little too fast. We're already up to 145,000. This is all real time. It's really fast. All right, let's go ahead and stop that. We got more than enough records. Let's see what that looks like. Let's start from products 10. All right, so there we see some of our items. I'm going to do a little count of items where the inventory count equals 7. 6789. That's impressively quick. How many do we have in here now? So we've got 175,000 records, And we were able to count those pretty much instantaneously. And that's all we have to do to get Kafka topics out of WarpStream and into SQLite. That's really impressive. So you can come by our website, sign up for a free account, and try it for yourself.